Hey guys, we take here Blueberry Hill. So this is April 7th. I skipped yesterday spray foaming at least. I actually installed a bunch more wire into the house for HDMI, coax, and some speaker wire stuff. We're gonna do like a 3-zone stereo thing. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, here's a continuation of spray foaming. I fixed up I got a real switch for the compressor. Off, on. Awesome. And it's, I don't know if it's plugged in, whatever, but it's actually ready to roll. So once the pressure goes down, I think it starts at 90 or something like that, and this is all working fine. Barrels are ready to roll. Let me go show you. I fixed up the air leak, even though Dan from Mixon was sending me replacements for the failure, the little plastic quick connects. I went to Home Depot and I got there's a compression fitting, 2 compression fittings actually, and an adapter. The center one right here is an adapter from another compression fitting. I ended up buying 3 different items to make that work. But anyway, I think it's worth it. I already tested it to see if it would hold air, and it sure does. So I'm ready to roll. I waited till it's about noontime. It was quite cold this morning for whatever reason. Texas, so you never know what's going to happen. But anyway, it's back up to, I think it's supposed to be like 80s or something this afternoon. It's warm enough in here to start. If I touch the wall, that's nice and toasty. That's what I'm doing. And then I'll be doing the ceiling and the kitchen area. If I get that done today, I'm going to be a happy clam. See, there's my infrared heat sensor. I'll show you that. So this is a cheapie from Harbor Freight. Basically, you look at it, I don't believe that's right, 107. Well, it does feel warm. And then the ceiling, if I shoot the ceiling, that's only 77. So it is what it is. That's not too bad. You're supposed to be able to shoot the foam from 70 to 80. The foam itself will be 100, so that'll be all right. And I've had the garage door open over here all morning. These are nice and hand warm, so we'll shoot that. Come on, baby. There you go, 89. So that's plenty good. You know, not too worried about it because it's got heating elements in the line. And one thing I didn't show you, this is the solvent tank, or bucket rather, and you fill it up with solvent. Acetone is fun as a solvent because it evaporates extremely fast. So that's doesn't have 100% sealed because this line right here, you can see there's a little bit of a bleed through there. But anyway, I've been using new and used acetone. I bought a ton of it because I was doing a bunch of painting on the containers, etc., on the windows. So I have probably 3-4 gallons left. So I might go through that today. Who knows? So I'll need more of that, but whatever. But anyway, we're gonna start shooting in a few minutes here. So I'm gonna switch to time lapse and go from there. Say, before I do, so here's all the wires we put in there. This RG11 coax. We went for the newer version, not the RG, was it 6? This is thicker and can carry for longer distances. These are 100-foot cables. We're gonna have a TV and entertainment console here. These wires, here's HDMI that's gonna go from the cable box to the upstairs TV, and then speaker wires for the outside and the game room. They're 14-2, so that'll run everything it needs to. It's kind of wired through there. You can see the speaker wire going over there, and down we'll have speakers in the corners only. There's gonna be no point in having speakers everywhere. I'm not doing a full house audio. That's very, well, it's expensive for one, and we don't listen to music that way, so we'll see what happens. The corner, this is gonna be the pool patio area, right? So we have corner speakers for the outside, and that's the 3 zones. The other one is in here, which will have the stereo normally blasting into the whole area here. So excited about that, I guess, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, on the spray foaming, time lapse next. Later. So I'm waiting for the heater to kick in on the line there. It's a little bit low. It's coming up over 90, so I'm going to start in a minute here. Here's the tip I was talking about. I actually dropped the gun when the last time the air line popped on me 2 days ago. I broke this, so I had to undo this. Just it's a press fitting. So you undo this, and then you shove a new one of these into the tip. And these are the replaceable tips. And I'm just cleaning them as I go. I had them in solvent, and then I kind of drill out the content if there's anything dry in there or hardened up. It doesn't really dry, it reacts, right? So anyway, so this goes on top on the gun when you're ready to shoot. I have a night tip on there right now. That's basically a plug. It doesn't let any air in and out. And I'm gonna swap it out, and then we should be almost ready to go. I'm gonna suit up and we'll start shooting foam again. Exciting. So here I'm going to show you guys a quick spray out of the kitchen area. I shot a bunch of different videos on the other part, but you know, watching me spray for the whole time would be a little bit boring. But anyway, it goes pretty quick. I've got the gun set up. I believe at the speeds 35, 45 is where it ended up. So it's not a huge production rate, but it works really well. I can control it pretty good. I'm still learning how to use the gun and putting the flow out properly, so it makes a nice even pocket. Here you see it a little closer up. So I'm spraying, that's where the joint of the containers is, right where I just sprayed. And here you see the expansion. This is closed cell foam, so it doesn't expand like open cell. Open cell gets huge very quickly. Closed cell does, I'd say, less than half of the expansion that the open cell would. Two different foams though. Hey guys, so spent I guess roughly 3-4 hours spraying. I just do a quick runabout. Basically did the ceiling. You know, the 2x are quite far from the actual metal, so you can see roughly an inch or two space there. This is what it kind of looks like. So there's 3-4 inches between the 2x and the metal before foam, and then you know it's roughly probably about 2 inches of foam up there. Did the walls. Everything went pretty good today. I do have to keep vigilant on the cleaning the gun. It is, even though you're shooting, I'm shooting for, you know, a couple hours, every hour or so, the tip would actually fill up with a little cone, a hard cone. So it hardened inside the spout. And so I had to open that up, pull it out, clean it, put it back on, and everything rolled pretty good. I actually did my own fitting for the air. It's right here. I think I showed you that already. And Danny from Mixing System Equipment, I just got it delivered from him with some extra tips. That was fantastic. So basically a little baggie of goodies, some extra, and then replacement for the broken fitting, which I threw away. Quick connect plastic stuff. I guess it didn't hold up to the 90 pound pressure or whatever. You know, small item, no big deal. But anyway, we're rolling. Got the first big room done. So we're on to the next, and we'll just keep rolling until we get the house knocked out. I'm sure it'll be a week or something like that before I get done. But anywho, that's it for now, and we'll talk at you later and show you our progress. See ya. Hey guys, so it's April the 8th. We're continuing the spray foam. I'm gonna crank the machine up just a little bit more, just by a tick, so I'm probably gonna go to like 50 on the blue and whatever turns out to be on the red, the A side. Angie and I just finished taping up the bathroom area so I can spray. Boy, that painter's tape is not very good. But anyway, what we're doing is we're hitting all the areas where we're gonna have cabinets, right? So we're trying to heat it a little bit ahead of the game. Hey guys, we take here. So April 8th, we're gonna continue spray foaming. I'm gonna crank the machine up. I'm gonna recheck the ratios. I guess I can show you that as well. I'm far away from the machine. Here's my 100-foot cable, all the way to the back of the house. It runs through the house into the garage. So that's gonna work out pretty good. Just have enough room. Already undid these nozzles here so I could do this ratio check. And I'm just gonna turn it up a little bit. It wasn't a bad production rate yesterday, but I'm just gonna play a little bit and see if it increases a little bit. I'll be like 50% on the speed of the motors, so it shouldn't be too bad. The starting point was 35-ish. That's what Mixin says. Anyway, we're gonna try it and go for it. Next thing I'm gonna do is the utility room. Let me walk in there. So Angie's taping stuff up, and we definitely have to tape everything you don't want puked up. Okay, so the reason we're doing the bathrooms first and the utility is because cabinets are going in there. We need to drywall up because I think the cabinets are going to get here sooner than we think, in a couple of weeks. So I want to stay ahead of that. Once we do those two areas, the utility room and the apartment bathroom, we could then move on to any part of the house with the spray foam. So I'm not too worried about it, but what I want to do after doing these two rooms is get the first set of drywall up. So that's going to be interesting because I don't like doing drywall. I'm not sure too many people do. I did it, I don't know, 30 years ago, a little bit, and you know, not the most fun job there. It'll work, but I'd rather farm that one out. So, and just FYI, Job Matthews came over. He looked at the house again, and I'm going to count up the white art panels that we have. It's almost an off-white. I'm going to count those up because we don't have to buy those, and he's going to buy royal blue art panels for the outside, and of course all the trim that goes with. So that's going to happen, he thinks, in about 6 weeks. So that would be awesome. Get the outside wrapped up and done. So one more thing out of the way. Next order of business is drywall for sure. So I have to spray foam everything. I'll hang some drywall in the kitchen so the cabinets can actually go in and don't have to worry about that. And then we'll spray foam the heck out of the rest of the house, because then it'll be a full go. Get the green light to go ahead with everything. So anyway, talk at you later. We're gonna switch to time lapse. I'll show you some more spray foam stuff later. All right, so we're cranking up the machine just a little bit. So I'm gonna recheck the ratio. I got my ratio tip on. It's split in half. Makes the A and B come out of separate things. And you basically split it like that on the cups, and you'll get individual pourings into the cup. So everything's on. It's up to temp. No air pressure. I've got these disconnected, as you can see. I'll reconnect those in a minute. Oh, I better get my bucket. So here I'm doing the ratio check, and I did one just prior to this, so you'll see the cups have a tiny bit of junk in there, but no big deal. Anyway, you see the lines on the cups, and that's what I'm going to the top one from the bottom, about an inch off the bottom of the cup. And once they become even, the ratio looks good to me. And then I spray a little bit on the walls, and it seems to work just fine. If the foam expands and does its right thing, it's not weird color or consistency, then it's all good. Here I'm reattaching the solvent and air lines. They recommend you undo these when you're doing the ratio check, so that's what I've been doing. And I put the tip back on, and we're ready to spray. So I decided to relocate the machine and the drums. So here you see they're against the wall. Here is the solvent valve, open, close and open. That provides solvent and air to the gun. There are the valves for the fluid, definitely have to be open. There's a desiccant canisters. They have tape on them, so I close them up at night when I'm not using it. And there are my new settings. Those turned out to be a little bit too high. It started sputtering because I think it's got to do with pressure, and as well as the thickness of the viscosity of the compounds. So anyway, I turned the machine down to around 50 on the B and 40, I believe, on the A. But anyway, that's the settings, and off I went. Alright, so here we go. We're starting to spray out. This is basically, I'll call this day 2. This is really day 3. The gun was fixed yesterday, so it's working good. I wanted to increase the flow rate a little bit, so I did that a few minutes ago. Reset the ratios as well, and then the gun was working okay. However, I noticed it was doing a little spurting action, so it would kind of like pulsate a little higher flow every time you held the trigger down for a while. So I backed it off later on to make it a nice steady flow, and that seemed to work just fine. Anyway, here I'm doing the outside walls. I'm doing a little heavier coat, of course, because that is the heatsink area. The wall on the right side separates the living room and the utility room and the hallway. So I just did that a little bit, just for noise issues mostly. And I am doing the ceiling in here, even though it's a stacked container on top over my head with concrete floor, etc. So probably doesn't need a whole lot, but I did it anyway. And in the hallway, we're not having a ceiling in there; it's just going to be painted. So regardless, you know, overkilling this area and not doing the rest is funny. But we'll paint the hallway ceiling and shoot whatever walls we have in the hallway. Anyway, rinse and repeat. So the spray is very controllable. It actually doesn't make a huge mess. There are tiny molecules kind of float around. The white gas you see, I think that's the off-gassing of the actual gases in the reaction. And of course, you can definitely feel the heat in the foam. If you squirt enough of it and get beside it, you can feel the heat coming off the foam as it cures. It takes only seconds to do that, so it heats up really quick, off gases, and is hard as a rock, right? Like a minute later, 2 minutes later, it's ready to roll. But anyway, you can see it goes fairly quick. I had it cranked up pretty good here, and managed to do a pretty good job. The wall on the left separates two container walls. There is an air gap underneath there. I did spray foam from the bottom, just a can-based closed cell. But I am going to squirt anything else that's open to the inside of the building. I'm not sure I videotaped me doing the entryway into the master, but that was a fairly open area. There's about a 2-3 inch gap between the two containers as they butt together. It's welded, of course, but there you can see a few air gaps. But you can see how quick this goes. It's pretty neat. I'm starting to learn the technique, so it just takes a little while to get nice smooth flow. I like to be smooth, not lumpy. I keep thinking of vanilla the whole time I'm doing it. Vanilla ice cream or icing, yay. There, I'm going to move over to the what we call the apartment bathroom. You notice the sheet on the wall. We're going to keep that container wall. That's the blue with all the funky colors on it. We taped that off. I'm sure I squirted a little bit of foam behind it, but for the most part, you know, tried to keep it nice and clean behind the drape there. We stapled that to the 2x to keep everything out of there, and off I went spraying it. Doing the ceiling, this was kind of, there's a lot of wires and stuff, and you know, airflow gets funny around wires and some of the piping, so you always have to shoot around the wires, so the foam can get everywhere. But for the most part, pretty easy. The gun gets heavy, I have to admit that. It's a long cable, one arm use, it gets kind of tiring, so I switch back and forth. But so far so good. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this part. I'm not going to bore you with doing the whole house, but I'll show you some, like, maybe close-ups of the foam going in and stuff like that as well. But this ends this video. On to the next bit. I'm going to probably spray out till I'm done with the 2 barrels, the first set of barrels. So we'll see how far that goes. We have no clue yet what the consumption totally is, but it's about 1/3 left in the barrels, so I probably have another good room or two to do. So anyway, appreciate you watching. We'll talk at you later. Bye.